It is the Riot podcast intro, the beginning of the pod.
Where's your headphones at?
I got them right here.
Why, you not wearing them anymore?
You sound terrible.
You know what I haven't done in the last few days? Listen to the podcast, so I don't know.
You don't know what you sound like.
Up with the realization that he thinks he does a better podcast intro when he has his headphones on, because we wear our headphones all morning, every other time we talk, and now it's like every good thing only lasts a few days.
Yeah.
And then you start putting them back on.
He's like, I don't really care anymore how I sound. At this point, it doesn't even matter.
But you're lucky I'm here.
This is radio life. This is just a peek behind the curtain because there's all these kind of little things that not maybe provably make your show better, but you could do them. But then you realize like, it's just a little too much. I was taught in school that you're supposed to stand. Your voice sounds much better if you stand when you talk. And, for the morning show, that'd be crazy to stand because we'd be standing like 3 hours, which... Yeah, some people do that for their jobs, like 8 hours a day, and they're like using sledgehammers and stuff.
Dude, they used to also teach in radio that you should smoke because
I was going to say.
Better. So I don't, and also do cocaine.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't think the radio school of like how to be a better DJ is healthy for anyone.
But standing could be healthy. Right?
It could be.
But I just love sitting so much.
Yeah, but you only have to stand when you're talking. Then you can sit down.
The thing is, I used to stand when I would go through phases before I was doing the morning show and I was only talking for like 30 seconds at a time where I would stand. And, then it's just like, but I could just sit. And so then I just wind up sitting. Who's going to know? And nobody notices.
This might peel back the curtain too much about us here at Radio U, but we're not like all the other DJs all the time. A little bit more relaxed, a little bit calmer, a little sitting downer.
Less effort.
Less cocaine.
Yeah, less cocaine, less smoking. Yeah.
We're not completely all in yet.
We're not doing everything we could be doing for you to make the show the best.
This is as good as you get, all right? Well, what's in the podcast today? What's our shining examples of what we have to offer?
Yeah, so today during the show, we talked about one of my favorite desserts, which is cheesecake.
Ooh.
I'm a huge cheesecake fan, like huge. I would almost pick cheesecake over like the majority of desserts.
Of like a birthday cake or something?
Oh, for sure. I would go cheesecake before that. And I didn't even realize I liked cheesecake till like a couple of years ago because I was so scared to try it. It's like a weird thing. Yeah, cheesecake is weird.
What other things you might be missing out on?
Well, we don't have to go that far. But we talked about how this year you may not be making a cheesecake, which is saddening.
You should I know you're not going to cook or bake a Christmas dessert, but you should make sure you let your mom know about this.
I could feel that she'd make you a cheesecake.
Yeah. She probably would. Or she can make you an alternative and get reimbursed up to $20 by Philadelphia cream cheese.
It's a continuing saga about the limits on cream cheese.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also talked about a man who had the greatest 10 days of his life. Because he was freed from prison a little bit earlier than he was supposed to.
Dude, you're only in for 48 hours. Like, you haven't even really experienced it yet. So, I don't know, but
he spent more time partying after being freed from jail than he initially spent in jail. So, that tells you something right there.
Now, I can see that happening, though, because, like, in jails here, it's not uncommon, especially in California. Like, you go in for maybe a year or two, you think your sentence will be, and you get freed pretty quick going into it if it's not a violent sort of crime.
Yeah, they just let you go.
But in the UK, I guess they were fine to have him stay in, so he had to go back.
Wow. Well, that was. Would you like to talk? I have nothing to add.
You sound like you were going to say something, and then just nothing came out.
If you'd have your headphones on.
Yeah, you would have came up with something there. You had no idea. So we also talked about the Grinch a little bit, to rent a Grinch. And last night, I actually tuned in to the Grinch for a little bit.
Which version?
So listen, this is a funny story. 2 days ago, I tried to turn on I don't know if you guys have seen the newest Grinch.
The Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Yeah.
The animated one.
Yes, the animated one. So I tried to turn that on. My roommate was like, no, we're not doing this. Like, if we're going to watch the Grinch, we're watching the Jim Carrey one. I'm like, this is it's pretty good. I've seen it. I was like, it's pretty good.
It's good.
He's like, yeah, and so we didn't watch it. But last night.
Your roommate won?
Yeah, he won. I let him. I was like, whatever, that's fine. We don't have to watch it. I kind of wanted to. But I'm like, well, it's okay. And so last night I was laying on the couch and the Jim Carrey Grinch, which is my favorite Christmas movie, was on. And so I tuned into that a little bit before I went to bed, and it was fantastic.
You consider that the real? Do you mean real because it's live action, or real because the first cartoon Grinch isn't real enough for you?
It's because it's my favorite. So that's the one that I consider the realest because it's my favorite. So that's my favorite Christmas movie of all time, and I got to watch a little bit of that last night.
Very nice. My wife told me and we were picking out a Christmas movie last night, and she says, for this season, no Grinch and no Christmas Carol of any kind.
Oh, none of that.
Yep, so we're out on that.
Well,
what a Grinch
okay,
move.
You don't want,
Yeah, right?
Listen, Isaiah's not standing up to his roommate. You're not standing up to your wife. What's going on here, guys?
We see who wears the pants in each of our households.
I'm just
Who's
not
the leader in Whoville?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just not much for confrontation. Like, whatever you want to watch, man.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just turn it on. It's okay.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. And don't forget, if you're listening to this on the day it goes out on the 16th, tonight we have our Riot Christmas party at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at RadioU Riot on Facebook or our YouTube channel. Or if you miss it live, you can watch it anytime there afterwards.
So we'll reconvene with you then.
Yay.
Bye.
Diamonds might be most girls' best friend, but for Nikki, it's DoorDash. The Riot on Radio U.
And that is provided that between now and then, none of us get the Omicron variant or anything.
I think we're okay.
It's working its way around, and Nikki, I think we need to make sure we're taking the necessary precautions, or at least we know what to look out for.
Sure.
To make sure that we don't get it, or to know if we think we might have it. So I have some news here that says the preliminary data. The early reports, because the Omicron we're still pretty new with the Omicron variant of the virus. They say, of course, that the symptoms have been a lot more mild compared to previous variations of the COVID-19 virus.
Sure.
But the number one thing they found that seems to tie it all together, that says you probably have Omicron COVID-19, is if you have a scratchy throat.
Oh, as opposed to, like they say, a sore throat.
Not even a sore throat,
but
just a scratchy throat.
Who has a scratchy throat?
Is it you? Isaiah?
Remember
Isaiah?
he said one side of his throat?
Oh, no.
I think I told everybody here, like, you've all experienced it, especially if anybody has any allergies.
Yeah.
Every time I hear a COVID symptom, I'm like, allergies.
Yep.
Like,
And
for
now-
me, like, I have that all the time.
And now they just keep getting milder and milder, which in a sense, I feel like everybody's not completely grasping onto this, but if the symptoms continue to get milder and milder, that's a good thing. That means that the virus is, even though it's becoming possibly more transmissible, is becoming less strong. It's not going to hurt you as much.
Sure.
And so
like
it's
when they would
good,
always-
but it also means you always could have it and you just never know.
You just don't know. They said, like, when you get headaches and stuff, you're like, I have headaches every day.
Yeah, right.
But Isaiah was saying he had a scratchy throat the other day.
Yeah.
But it's only on one side of his throat.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
that's not mentioned here.
we figured out it was probably, he was laying on, like, his side.
Yeah.
And then if you get, like, a scratchy throat during the night, or, like, you sleep with your fan on or something, it was probably just draining on one side.
I'm not a doctor. I was worried when he said that he has like he needs to get his tonsils taken out.
Oh, does he? I didn't hear that.
No, that's what I'm worried about. That's what I have no idea. I don't know what I don't know. I've never had my tonsils out, so I don't know.
I haven't either.
I don't know what it's like, but that's when he said it's just one side and it's his throat and it's just kind of scratchy. I was like, what? Could that be a tonsil thing?
That's a good question. Has anybody had their tonsils out?
I don't know. I feel like when you're a kid, there's like, at least for me, there was like TV shows, and in every show there was an episode where somebody had to get their tonsils out. I don't remember anybody in my life actually getting them removed.
No,
it feels like something that was just for TV,
all
like
we
hall
had
monitors at school.
Was just like if you got your wisdom teeth out, that
Yeah,
was it. But never
right.
tonsil stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if you had like the bad ears and you had to get the tubes in the ears.
I never heard of that.
You never did?
No.
Like if your ears didn't drain properly when like you were real young, you had to get like tubes in your ears.
No, I never had tube ears.
Never did?
I never knew anybody with tube ears, at least not that talked about it.
No tube ears, no. Tonsil removal. You got nothing.
I lived in I was homeschooled, so I guess I had less exposure to just children overall, but
you were in a bubble.
yeah, that bubble that kept me safe from tube ears.
I guess. No,
Yeah.
you just have that.
It's not contagious.
That's not contagious. It's just if your body needs
Help,
a little help.
I've got the tube ear.
You get that later in life. They're like, this is only for like babies. You're like, nope, I got tube ears.
Normally you're exposed to this as a child at school.
Yeah.
You don't get the tube ears as an adult.
What we're leaving you with in this is
You probably
we're
have the
not sure
virus.
with Isaiah.
Yeah. He has it.
about it.
You have it. If you have any symptoms, they also say this one is tricky, and I think we've heard this about previous variants as well, but for this one, most people aren't even reporting a loss of taste or smell.
Yeah.
Which again, good, because I keep hearing about people that still, after they've gotten the virus, still to this day cannot taste or smell the same way they used to. So if you don't lose it when you get the Omicron, that's good. But I'm not saying getting the Omicron is good, but it's better than the other variants, right?
So Drew just texted in, so you had tonsil stuff? Says yes, and after about 8 years old, it was absolutely painful. And then Zach said, homeschooled Canadian. That's Hudson over there. It makes so much sense.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Good morning, Isaiah. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everybody.
We're going to get a lot of use out of you today.
Oh, beautiful.
Provided that is you're healthy enough.
Well, it's just because there's a lot of sports talk. Some things happened overnight. And then also, we were talking about, we think it's your tonsils that are causing you problems.
Yeah, it's a big issue. I woke up last night. I'll tell you this. I got a lot of sleep last night. I got like 7 hours of sleep, which is very, very
That's
good.
Amazing.
I went to bed pretty early, but throughout the night, I was waking up a lot. Like, it wasn't great sleep, but I woke up this morning because I went to bed on purpose because my throat has been like hurting me, just the left side for whatever reason. And I woke up this morning still to major pain.
Just on the one side, though.
Just the one side, and this is like a reoccurring theme. This has happened now for what feels like the entire fall.
And you've never had, like, your tonsils have never been taken out?
No, you still got them.
Okay. We're not doctors, so, like, if we say anything wrong, we don't know.
I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know if it's a good thing to get them out or not. I have no idea.
All the time. Like, if you would always have a sore throat, then, a lot of times they would say your tonsil stuff needed to be done.
Maybe I need them out.
I looked up the tonsils, and tonsillitis, when you need to get your tonsils removed, is only really common in children.
Well, who acts like a child?
Yeah, that's right.
Whoa.
You're not that
How old is a child? I'm just wondering.
Hey, you're still not able to rent a car.
They meant like...
yeah, exactly. Maybe I am a child to some people.
I believe they meant like elementary age, but you're not that far removed.
No, exactly. I still have time here.
Yeah.
So they say, your tonsils are located at the back of your throat, and if you got a virus or bacteria, then you probably have an infection, and that's why the one's inflamed. So an infection in just one tonsil can just cause the pain in one side. You could have a fever, trouble swallowing, or nosy breathing. And usually,
does that sound like you?
Well, I mean, I have very nosy breathing right now because it hurts to breathe through my mouth.
And they say that basically it's easily resolved with an antibiotic treatment. So you need to go get antibiotics.
I went, as you guys know, I went 2 months ago to see if I had strep throat.
Yeah.
And they gave me, I don't even know what they gave me, but I still have that gargle stuff.
Yeah.
I brought that back to life. I've been using the gargle. They gave me some other thing that I've been taking. I don't even know if these things even help a sore throat or whatever I'm going through, but I feel better when I take them, so I've been taking that.
Well, I think you need an antibiotic.
Yeah, I think probably so too. The gargle, though, I was using this gargle thing that makes your mouth numb, and my roommate was yelling at me last night because I was doing it in the living room. And he's like, dude, can you please go do that somewhere else? That's disgusting. You're gargling standing up next to me in the living room. I didn't want to do it by myself.
Where are you going to spit it?
It tastes terrible. It tastes so bad.
Why
I know.
would you not want to gargle
The
by
worst
yourself?
part is you're supposed to do it as long as you can.
Sure.
So usually when you gargle Listerine or something, you don't do it that long.
Yeah.
But when you're gargling something that tastes disgusting, and you try to do it for a while, it typically ends with you almost throwing up every single time.
Sure, that means it works.
I get that.
Yeah. So
Hudson, do you remember
I'm
we talked about, is he a kid or not?
Yeah.
Whoa. Listen, okay?
He had to gargle with someone else.
I just wanted someone around just in case it went wrong.
I'm just picturing him because he says you have to gargle it as long as you can, so he's just walking around the house trying to break his own record.
Literally. And I would take a break so I could breathe for a second, and I'd throw it back in there again. No, it's terrible. It's awful.
When to see a doctor says if you can't eat or drink because of your sore throat, or if it lasts more than 7 days.
I feel like this has been going on for 4 months now?
Seems
So
like
I think it might
Seems
be
like a
about
while.
time to go. Or if you have a fever, or if you have body aches, an earache, a rash, that sort of stuff.
Well, no rashes yet. Well, I'll keep you guys postponed on that. If I get one, I'll let you know.
We have to, I think we need to, if we all agree, we need to find a riot doctor.
That's what I was
going to think
say.
the
that
exact
way,
same thing.
When we have these problems, we could be going to the riot doctor. They can come here to the studio. So we're just, I can't even go to the doctor. Like, I still need my mom to be a part of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I need my mom to force me to go to the doctor.
Don't go,
yeah.
Every time I leave the doctor, like, would you like to like make your next appointment, or do you want me to call like your mom do that? I'm like, have her do it. She likes it. I think she likes scheduling my appointments. She likes to be in the know. I don't really feel comfortable. I don't really know what my schedule is.
She misses since I moved out, so it's good for her to still be a part of my medical choices.
You just did it.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So the news that is taking the football world by storm is late last night. Urban Meyer, the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, was kicked to the curb. He has been fired.
A midnight firing.
Yes, he's kicked the bucket, you could say.
Normally, I thought everybody would wait till like a Friday after office hours, but
it is very odd timing.
It just felt weird that you'd wake up and find out that it was during the night.
It's unusual that NFL coaches get fired during their first season. They usually get at least through the end of the season. So that's weird. And then firing him, a lot of times if they're going to fire a coach during the season, they'll do it on a bye week or they'll do it right after, like they played on Sunday, so they would do it Sunday night or Monday morning.
So there's a game this weekend?
There's a game this weekend.
Yeah, they have a game in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, they really wanted him out.
I think it's just like the Jaguars at this point, like, probably want to lose more than they want to win, realistically, because they're getting so close to the end of the year. They have a bad team already, so wins and losses don't really matter to them at this point, I think.
I'm definitely with you on that. I think this year, after a couple games, they realized that this year was going to be a lost season anyways, which is fine. They just had the number one pick. Yeah. They're just trying to rebuild. But I'll tell you that they may not care about wins and losses. They probably would prefer to lose just so they get better draft picks again. But I think this week they're coming back with a win.
Yeah.
Big victory week.
Yeah. Well, they're playing another terrible team. They're playing the Texans. And this isn't Urban Meyer getting fired. It's like we've had controversy swirling around him for months now. And the players, like there's been all kinds of reports always coming out that the players don't respect him, that he's, they say trashing
he kicked the kicker?
He kicked a kicker. Josh Lambo is the former Jaguars kicker. He was told, his story is that Urban Meyer, he says,
we can't say the quote.
No, well, hey dipstick, make your effing kicks.
Is basically what he said.
Lambo says, the former kicker for the Jaguars says, he'd say it was about a 5 out of a 10 as hard as Meyer could do it.
What are we doing? Yeah. A 5 out of a 10, that's how we're ranking. It was like a 5 or so. He didn't kick me that hard, but just like enough.
That's pretty hard.
A 5 out of 10? I don't know.
If I kicked you a 5 out of 10, you know what I don't think you'd be doing.
If you're the coach and that's your player, that's a respect thing as well.
Right? Yeah.
That means the respect is not there.
Yeah.
No one's surprised that Urban Meyer was fired.
No.
We were just be surprised that it wasn't earlier.
Yeah, but you would have thought it would have been earlier because there was definitely a point in the season. Maybe it was when he was caught out, with the bar salacious videos and stuff earlier this year. Maybe it was that, or maybe it was just like at a certain point where you just keep hearing how the players don't respect him, how people are always arguing, whatever. But there's a certain point where not only would it be way beating the odds for them to ever make the Super Bowl or like have real success, it'd be beating the odds just for them to be respectable with him there.
Yeah.
And so at that point, why not just cut the cord before you've gotten in too deep?
Well, Chad from Pennsylvania, he said, as a stupid, loyal Jags fan, it's all about the draft picks. So.
There you go.
Chad.
Hey, you know what, though? You have a team you like. You still like it, no matter what the drama is. But we weren't too surprised by the midnight firing of Urban Meyer.
Yeah, they'll be better off without him. Isaiah, we'll talk about the Browns later, but their coach is out with COVID this week. You want to bring in Urban Meyer just for this weekend?
We already have enough drama swirling with all the COVID stuff. We don't need someone kicking our players right now.
Maybe he'll kick them into shape.
Kick them while they're down is what we are right now.
You need a team that's kicker is out and be like, listen, if you think you're so good,
yeah, exactly.
Urban Meyer can do it for you. That was only a 5 out of 10. Wait till he gives you a 10 out of 10.
That's a 50-yarder for sure.
Someone brings Urban Meyer in just so they can get mad at him when he misses.
Yeah.
Maybe a new special teams coach is his next thing. He'll be the special teams coordinator.
There you go. He seems to know a lot about it.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The Riot, RadioU.
Kraft wants to apologize, Nikki.
Yeah.
They feel bad because of the cream cheese shortage.
There's a shortage going on for cream cheese.
And it's not necessarily just Kraft, because we were hearing that, like in New York, where they're not just getting Philadelphia cream cheese. That's the one Kraft makes. But like at New York bagel shops, they were having trouble just getting cream cheese from their suppliers, too.
Their supplier is...
It is Kraft?
Kraft.
Yeah? So it's all Kraft's fault.
It basically is. So they're like the biggest supplier of cream cheese. So Philadelphia is like the cream cheese company, but they're owned by Kraft.
Yeah.
And what happens with a lot of your, let's say, artisanal bagel bakeries, they have their own, cheese that they have cream cheese, but what they do is they take the base
just a block of it, and then they flavor it and do whatever they do with it.
Then they make it their own
but
cream cheese.
But it all starts with Kraft.
Exactly.
It all starts with this just generic Philadelphia. So,
and there's been a big shortage, so a lot of places are just running out of cream cheese.
And of course, cream cheese isn't just for bagels.
Right.
We all know that.
Right.
It is also for maybe your cream cheese icing, or for your cheesecake, or for any number of things. So Kraft feels really bad about the fact that they can't keep up with all of the cream cheese that we all want to buy, because demand has been up about 18% this year, they say. So they're trying to keep up, but they can't. So here's what they're doing. If you want to make a different holiday dessert that doesn't involve cream cheese, Kraft may reimburse you $20 for that holiday dessert. Now, it's not that simple, of course, because tomorrow and Saturday you have to sign up at their website so that you can, and then they'll be drawing 18,000 people, 18,000 winners. 18,000 winners that will get reimbursed if you save your receipts for your holiday desserts that are not Kraft related, that are not cream cheese related, and then they'll send you $20 to reimburse you.
So you have to submit your recipe for ingredients used for non-cheesecake, basically. And if you're one of the 18,000 winners chosen, you can get reimbursed up to $20. Let's hear the words there, guys.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean everybody just gets 20.
Can. Up to
possibly.
Yeah.
They
if
say
you're chosen.
The demand for cream cheese last year and this year has fueled the shortage.
Yeah.
And then also, same thing, a lot of places are just short on drivers. So it's how can you get the cream cheese to places that's also causing issues.
Yeah. So this is a lot of work for $20. First, you have to actually...
Up to $20.
Up to $20. First, you actually have to bake, which is something I can't do. What am I? Wolfgang Puck?
There it is. No, that's a cook.
Yeah.
That's a chef.
Oh, you're right. What am I?
Different.
The ace of cakes?
Okay, great.
Duff, what's his name? Duff something?
You
remember him?
Yes, I do. You just have such great examples.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he was a big guy in Baltimore because he was from Maryland. Now I lost my train of thought. First, you have to go through actually baking something for the holidays. Then, and this is the really tough one, you have to save your receipts. If you're lucky, maybe your whatever grocery store you shop at, if you have a rewards card, maybe they save your receipt online. So you have to go through your account online and find the old receipts. Come on. Who's going to do this?
That's it. Up to 18,000 people win. So I'm sure a lot more people will try to get possibly up to $20.
$20 though, if this is like $500 maybe. For $20, that's a lot of work and a lot of remembering to do stuff.
Hey, it's a lot of cream cheese though. They're trying to save.
That's right.
So it's a unique idea. So Kraft is doing that. If you want more details, you just look online. But if you're also just wanting cream cheese and you're like, where is it all at? You're not the only one noticing. Just another shortage.
So you could have up to $20. Ooh.
That makes me want to just get a block of cream cheese and just eat it.
Yeah, right? That'll stick it to them.
That'll be like, here you go. Here's your $20.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Check out this video, Nikki. It is a video of a man in India. He's got a monkey that he has rescued.
Yeah.
And he's given the monkey mouth to mouth.
Oh, to save it?
He's saving the monkey.
Aww.
CPR. mouth to mouth,
Yeah.
breathing life back into the monkey.
Back into the monkey. He said, I guess he's a cab driver, and he saw the monkey with injuries.
Yep.
Laying next to a tree, and a pack of dogs had chased it there, but it was trying to live. But then he noticed it needed help, and so that's when he gave it mouth to mouth.
He rescued the monkey, and then I guess he was in the process of transporting it to him and a friend of his were in the process of transporting it to a hospital where they could treat it when he felt the monkey start to lose its breath. And so that's when he sprung into action once again by giving him the mouth to mouth. What do you think? Would you give a monkey mouth to mouth?
I'd have to be in the moment to know.
Yeah?
I don't know what type of person I am.
You just can't.
Maybe I'm not good enough.
You can't know.
I wouldn't know.
I'm confident I would not give a monkey mouth to mouth.
But would you sit there and watch it die?
No, I would try to save it from the dogs. That's as far as I'd go. I'd say stop. I'd say shoo. Get out of here.
Wow,
and
what
then I'd pick
humanitarian.
Up pick up the monkey.
Would you take it to the hospital?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Or I'd at least call somebody.
Which
is really saying something.
Because we don't make phone calls.
Yeah.
So if you were taking it and you were holding it and you were driving it to the hospital and it was one of those movie moments where it's struggling to breathe and it was like, fine. If you just gave it a couple of breaths, it would live. Can we in that moment save the monkey?
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have that in me.
Can you put your hands over somehow? Like,
make a barrier? A straw or something? You use a straw?
I don't know.
I'm afraid that would make it worse somehow.
Maybe let's do a quick poll to see how kind we all are. Would anybody touch a monkey's lips with your lips to do mouth to mouth?
I don't know. I have seen on TikTok some pretty cute monkeys, so it'll be tough. Because they can, it's almost like a child. Sometimes you see them, but I don't think I have it in me to say. I mean, I barely could. I'm honest about this. I could barely do it on a person. I would have serious reservation. Well, I'm sure in the moment with a person, I'd be like, all right, I guess I have to do this, but I wouldn't want to.
So at this point, I think we'd all agree we would need to look on YouTube how to.
Yeah,
because do we remember mouth to mouth?
Do they have different CPR certifications if you're doing it on a monkey?
I'm not sure. They said, animals come out often in this area into towns for food. So they're around all the time. A vet said if the monkey was bitten by, say if those dogs were infected, then the guy could develop a disease, but otherwise there really wouldn't be a problem.
That was the other thing I was worried about.
And the monkey is only 8 months old. It's this tiny monkey.
Well, how do you know that? I know you know, but how does he know?
The vet knew.
The vet? Yeah, but he didn't know in the moment. So he just was saving the monkey. It wasn't it's a baby monkey. He's got a lot of life ahead of him.
What are we? We're judgment. We're how old are you?
We're a death panel for the monkey.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep right there. Levi said, nope, no monkey lip.
Yeah.
Not going to do it. See, I think I would if in the moment, at the very end, that's what you had to do. I'm just a sucker for that. I probably would.
I don't know. I don't know if I see it in you. To save a monkey, yeah.
I like most animals more than most humans.
I'm sure that you do.
And it was just looking up at you with its little 8-month-old eyes?
Yeah.
What would you do? It'd be like, save me.
I guess when you put it like that, I can maybe see. I don't know. I just feel like in the moment, you're talking about putting your lips up to a monkey's, a wild monkey's lips.
Well, I have hand sanitizer always with me.
Yeah.
I would just spray down when done.
So then you'll, you're doing it on yourself. I thought you were going to disinfect the monkey.
Oh, a little spray there.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, but he's tiny. It might make him drunk. It might cause more problems.
Listen.
All the alcohol in there.
I can only save with one thing at a time. All right. So if you would save a monkey, would you give a monkey mouth to mouth? And of course, everybody's like, well, there was that one person I dated and wasn't too far off from that. So,
oof.
All right. We all understand that. But this is an actual monkey.
Yeah, that actually needs saving.
Yes.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on RadioU.
In the NFL, there's all kinds of news going around. One is Urban Meyer has been fired. We already talked about that. But the other thing that is affecting several teams is lots of people are testing positive for COVID-19. And that is an issue because it means some teams are seriously depleted. None more so, it seems, than the Cleveland Browns.
Where his favorite.
Not only are the Browns...
You riding high before this.
Oh, I was riding so high.
Yeah, that's right. They come off a big win against the Ravens, and then sure enough, the other shoe has dropped for the Browns, where not only are they missing a high quantity of players, but their quality of players that is going to be out for the next game, which is Saturday against the Las Vegas Raiders, is fairly significant. Their quarterback, Baker Mayfield,
he's out.
Has now tested. Is he tested positive for the COVID-19?
Out.
Yeah, he's in quarantine.
Yeah, it seems that he must have been vaccinated, but so he's following the vaccine, like if you test positive and you're vaccinated protocols, which means he could be back for next week. But this week, though, for Saturday, looks like he's donezo.
Well, even the coach, the Browns coach, he's also tested positive.
Yep.
At this point, the NFL has a real issue of a lot of teams having just such huge amounts of players having to go into the quarantine, protocol. They should just play those players if they're feeling well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Football game.
Exactly. So that was pretty crushing news yesterday. We had earlier in the week, a couple came out saying we had some people down that weren't going to be able to play. A lot of our offensive players, like 2 of our wide receivers, a couple offensive linemen. But when I saw that Baker went out, then that was just tears. That was just wow.
So is the
what
backup Browns guy okay?
He's okay. He's okay. And the thing that really stinks is we're pushing for the playoffs, right in the fringe of getting in. We got a big win last week, and we pretty much we can only afford to lose one more game the rest of the season, and this game wasn't the game we were planning on losing.
Yeah, he was planning on losing next week when they play the Packers on Christmas Day.
I wouldn't say planning.
Yeah.
I would just say that'd be a tougher game than the game we were expecting to win this Saturday against the Raiders, so it makes it more difficult.
Tell me why don't they just postpone a game?
There's
Does
not
it mess
time
up
now.
the schedule?
Yeah.
There's not time because we're getting so close to the end of the year. It's it's always a bad time to catch COVID, but it's a really bad time to have a COVID outbreak right now, because if they have to reschedule the games, there's no more. Every team is at their bye week, their week off. So that and the season literally ends one week and then the playoffs start the next. So there's no real time in there whatsoever to make up games.
But they made the schedule. They need to be more flexible.
Yeah.
I know.
Stadiums can be rechanged in games. Or can't they have a Wednesday game?
I wish.
I'll tell you why they don't do that is because, some will argue the COVID-19 is not that harmful to players. They mostly seem to be fine. But especially with the Omicron variant, and these guys are in great health, right? So they all seem to be. Nobody has had any real health issues.
They just have to wait the time
in the
out.
NFL that we really know of. However, if you're playing games a couple days apart and a bunch of games crammed into a short amount of time, that's really dangerous for actual physical injuries.
The rest time, especially because I know they're not going to move the game for the fact that the Browns have back-to-back Saturday games. They play this Saturday and they play the following Saturday on Christmas, and there's no shot that they will move a Christmas Day game.
You cannot move
for
the Christmas
pure
game.
money alone.
Last option. Okay, can't they just get a tie and they both kind of get half?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, right.
I'd take a tie. I would take a tie today. I'd take a tie.
All right, let's work on that.
No, the good news for the Browns is they're playing the Raiders, who have seemed to maybe have given up on their season.
We have a chance.
They lost 49-9 or something like that last week. So,
oh boy.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We have new Oreo flavors to look forward to once again.
I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, hasn't
And sometimes it gets confusing because especially if you live on Instagram or Facebook, every so often a new flavor will trend. And it's not a flavor.
Yeah.
It's just someone's mock-up of it.
Yeah, somebody did a Photoshop.
Or they'll do a throwback and they'll be like, hey, this flavor from before you were born is coming back
And there's
out.
been so many flavors that you don't know.
You can't keep them straight.
Did I have that kind of Oreo before? Or is it new and I'm crazy? Is this a Mandela effect thing? Well,
these two look good.
Yeah, so these are real, genuine, new Oreo flavors coming your way in January. They are going to have Toffee Crunch Oreos.
Yes, toffee's my favorite.
It is?
That's my favorite ice cream flavor.
Oh, yeah?
Toffee is the best.
So do you love Heath bars?
Coffee.
Yeah, toffee. Yeah.
I do like Heath bars.
You do?
Yeah.
I can't I don't mind Heath bars, But like just eating them straight up, I just don't like what it does to your teeth.
Well, dental work wise, I shouldn't be touching it. If you like your teeth, you shouldn't be having it. But dude, I'd be all over, especially if they have crunch in the Oreo.
Yeah, it says that
really
they do. It says, let's see, the toffee has toffee flavored cream with sugar crystals.
Nice.
Sandwiched between Oreo cookies. So it
Get
sounds
ready,
like,
teeth.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking it sounds like it's going to be all of the flavor, all the things you love about toffee without the toffee issues that it can cause.
So the toffee crunch is going to be a permanent flavor. That one's not limited. That one's going to be always there.
Yeah.
Yay.
And then you're also going to be looking at ultimate chocolate Oreos, which that seems to be the ultimate, like a chocolate cake style.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, how is that really markedly different from any other kind of chocolate Oreo they've done? They've done a lot. And actually, to be fair to Oreo, the difference between like a fudge brownie Oreo and just a standard chocolate Oreo and some of the other, they actually is a difference.
There is.
So how are they going to make that work with an ultimate chocolate cake type Oreo?
Well, do you see what's inside? It'll
What's
be
that?
a triple layer of chocolate creams.
Yeah.
And that is a limited flavor. So whereas the toffee will be around forever, the ultimate chocolate will just be limited.
Wow, that's too good to just to just give us without limiting us a little bit.
Well, the chocolate
They're doing
looks
it for
good,
us.
but I'll take the toffee, and so we'll start looking for that probably in a few weeks because
Yeah.
it'll head to stores, beginning of January.
It says beginning of January, and they say $4.29 is going to be your price point on those. It's just exciting. This is things getting back to normal.
Right when
is
you-
new Oreo flavors.
Right when you are ready to say to yourself, I'm going to not eat any more
That's
Oreos,
right.
and
This
you're
is
ready for your new
well-timed, isn't
body
it? Yeah.
in January, now you can eat this.
Well, we heard about that guy doing the all KFC diet. Maybe we can try the all Oreo diet for a month.
That'll scare me.
You want to see? It might be healthy. Who knows?
I'm going to have you try the 30 days
Yeah.
with all Oreos, and I'll just see how you do.
I think it might give you scurvy.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So we have a guy here. He's in the UK. His name is Loris Matisovis, something like that. 30 years old. He had been sentenced to a 4-year jail term. So he was going to be there. That's not the worst, but that's for a while,
It's a
right?
pretty good amount of time.
That's a pretty good amount of time. And yet, 48 hours into being imprisoned, 48 hours into his jail sentence, all of a sudden they come to him and they're like, all right, you're free to go. You've done your time.
Is that overcrowding or?
No, it was just simply some kind of error. It was completely accidental. They didn't realize what they were doing. They freed the wrong man. And so this guy, supposed to be there for another, I don't know exactly if it was 4 years to the day, but, about 3 years and 363 days early,
Sure.
he's getting out of jail.
So, okay, if it's their mistake though, then do you have to go back, or is that they're bad and they'll learn their lesson and you end up getting freed early?
Well, in this case, it sounds like they wound up wanting him to go back.
Sure.
Maybe if it was like a day early or something, they would have just let it go.
But not
since
that
it was
many?
he still needed to serve over almost 4 years. They're calling him back in.
Yeah,
So
Hudson, I hear you counting, all right? And he
Yeah.
doesn't want you to do that. He was there. He went in.
Yeah,
he did what he needed to do.
He did the crime. He did his time.
That's right. That's what they said.
Well, so what would you do if you get freed accidentally? Like, would you lay low? Would you try to flee the country just in
Now,
case?
I understand.
Or would you go to them and say, excuse me, I believe that you've made a mistake. I was supposed to be here for another 4 years.
The second I found out that because like if you get freed from jail, you still have like parole, like you still have, you're supposed to check in, like you don't just get free and you don't ever have to, communicate with them again. But if I found out, I would go back because I know they're going to find you and then you get a longer sentence.
Well, what everybody is saying is he should have just taken this opportunity and skipped the country.
To
because
leave.
what are they? Yeah, this is your chance. And I don't know. I have no idea. But with a name like Loris Matsovas, I'm guessing he might have been from another country, or at least he, like he
to go
might have been
somewhere else.
Lithuanian or Latvian or something like that. So maybe he could have had somewhere else to go anyways. But that's not what he did. He didn't flee the country. So good on him, right? That's kind of doing the right thing. But what he did do was go on a 10-day partying binge.
Oh, that's healthy.
Yeah.
There you go.
He called a friend to come pick him up, and then for the next 10 days, he just goes crazy. And then they eventually did wind up picking him up. So
and then he's
I don't
back
know.
in.
I guess that is a somewhat logical step to take because you're like, hey, I'm free early. I've been given a new lease on life. I got to make the most of it because, like you said, they're going to catch me anyways. I might as well have some fun while I've still got the chance.
Don't you think that's only if, say, you were in jail for a lot longer? He was only in for 48 hours.
Yeah.
48 hours doesn't mean that you've missed your party binge days.
Right, yeah.
You know, like you've only been out.
He was partying 3 days ago, possibly.
That was it to go
Most
in the
likely.
last time. But yeah, he got caught and he decided to go out with a bang before he had to go back in.
Yeah, there's some people are saying, even his friend said, imagine if it was someone who was in for violence or a sex offender. It could have been really bad. That's not what he was in for, evidently. So I guess that's true. We're just thinking all of this of like, hey, what if he was just a nice guy and he just wound up in jail? What would you do? But the truth is, if it was somebody like they're mentioning, maybe the first thing they would have gone out and done in those 10 days was commit crimes for 10 days. So.
He was convicted of blackmail, so it wasn't.
4 years for blackmail?
We don't know what it was around,
we have
though.
no idea. But, I guess everything has been sorted out. You know, this is a learning moment for the jailing system in the UK.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, sure. It's bound to happen with all the people in jail. You're bound to set some of them free. They're just lucky it was a blackmailer and not a murderer.
Sure.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You seen this? The family in the UK where they wanted to bring the Grinch in for their Christmas party.
Oh, they were hiring somebody?
They rented a rent-a-Grinch, you could call it. And what happened was the Grinch came to the Christmas party and just wrecked up the place.
You mean did what the Grinch was supposed to do?
Is that what the Grinch does? Because that sounds more like a Cat in the Hat type thing to me.
I've only seen the Benedict Cumberbatch.
What?
I haven't seen the others.
You haven't seen the Jim Carrey or like the old one?
Nope.
With the song?
Nope.
You haven't? Nikki.
I mean, I know the premise, like it's something with his heart. And
you never read the book?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, again, I think I know we're all supposed to, have our heart and
Let me
and
summarize
believe.
the Grinch for you. He
mean?
lives up in Mount Crumpet. He watches Whoville all year, and he hates when Christmas comes around because they're singing and whatever, and he hates it. So one night he goes and he steals all the presents, but then he gets caught by what's her name, Cindy Lou Who, and he sends her off to bed and whatever.
Spoilers.
Yeah, right. He steals everything, but then Christmas comes and the Who's are still in Christmas Town or Whoville or whatever, and they're all singing because they're still happy because they don't need the presents and the roast beast for Christmas.
Sure.
And so anyways, he doesn't wreck up the place. Then he gives them back the presents. So
I've seen the Benedict Cumberbatch one.
So where in there is the wrecking up the place?
I don't know. It just feels like something a Grinch would do.
No, he just would steal the Christmas. He doesn't just... No, that's a Cat in the Hat. This Grinch... He was the wrong character. And so he comes in.
I just thought he would do anything it takes to ruin Christmas.
That's what this one did. He really ruined it. He threw food all over the house. Have you seen the pictures of like what the house looks like after the Grinch was there?
Okay, this doesn't look real. Is that really what happened?
Yeah, right? It looks too crazy. And so this woman the mom is accusing the Grinch of basically destroying everything. There's a picture. She says the Grinch sprayed what I would guess is like dishwashing liquid or something all over one of their children, which the kid does not seem very upset about.
That looks like icing.
Yeah.
Like for a cookie thing.
And he looks happy. Like it doesn't look like the Grinch. I know she has to clean it up, but it doesn't look like the Grinch ruined anything for anybody except for her. Everybody else seems to be having a good time.
Now, she says, the mom, she's never been so disgusted in her life, which means you've never had a party. Because some of this stuff looks just like a normal party.
Yeah.
She says she's complained to the company, but has not received a reply, and no one knows which company she went with. So I don't know. There's just so many online stories of people that are faking what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it says it was 85 pounds. So that would be roughly like, I'm guessing, rough conversion, a little over $100. So that's what is she just trying to get the $100 back?
Maybe.
Is that what you're doing?
Well, no, with the mess that was made, I'm sure she's trying to get some money back.
A cleaning
with it.
service or something to come do it. I don't know. She says she was just expecting the Grinch to put toilet roll around the festive tree and have a pillow fight and mess the kids' beds. What, she wanted it to go?
This all feels weird.
She wanted it to pee the bed?
I think this is fake.
You think?
I think like they had the party,
Yeah.
but I feel like they messed up their own party,
And
then
now
like,
they're just trying to get the Grinch involved.
I think they thought, well, what character can we blame this on? And they can't say that they like rented a Disney princess, so like it was just going to be the Grinch.
Yeah, so it's all the Grinch's fault. Blame the Grinch seems typical. Well, we're on the Grinch's side here.
Now,
so it's just what Grinches do, even if he did make the mess.
I want to tell you, Jason texted in Hudson and said, in the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, he causes chaos downtown and burns down the Christmas tree.
He does. That's not the best. That wasn't my favorite version of the Grinch.
Is that not what you remember?
Well, that's not canon.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
Nikki, for the longest time, gamers have had a reputation, haven't they?
For gaming?
Gaming, spending all of their time on the couch, having greasy fingers.
You mean having the perfect life?
Yeah, right. Drinking a lot of Red Bull and eating a bunch of Cheetos and just sitting there on the couch gaining weight. Well, it turns out we have them all wrong.
I think because we do all that without actually gaming.
Yeah, so it's not just a gamer thing.
They're at least being active.
Yeah, right.
With
they're stimulating
their
minds where we're just sitting there watching Disney Plus or whatever. Well, a new study conducted out of Germany where they surveyed 820 German esports athletes, they call them. Still not going to sprint. I don't think I can go for that term, but
hey, we played Forza for like almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
you consider yourself an athlete after that?
You were exhausted.
Well, I'm always exhausted.
So I think it's more athletic than we ever realized.
I'm exhausted after every show. Does that make me an athlete?
Well, we're radio athletes.
So they were trying to find out about the esports athletes' food preferences. And what they found was that the esports athletes actually stick to a healthier diet and exercise more regularly than like the average person. The gamers reported exercising more than 9.5 hours per week.
That's good.
Really?
That's a lot.
That is a lot. What do they do? If you consider yourself an athlete for playing esports, does that mean you consider playing esports exercise? It's finger exercise?
No, I think you just still exercise outside of that.
You think?
Yeah, it is.
It's important to have a strong core when you're gaming.
That way you can, well, I mean, it does take a lot out of you to sit there and play for so long. So I'm sure there's certain exercises and stuff that help because you probably get pretty stiff and tired from, playing a game for so long.
It also says that they consume less sugar than average and prefer home-cooked meals as opposed to takeout.
Hey.
So they're finding time somehow between all of their working out and gaming to also go ahead into the kitchen and actually make some food instead of just ordering Grubhub. Look at that.
This is among esports German athletes. Could vary from country to country with it.
Totally. Maybe this is why Germany is kicking our butt.
But if you look at
I don't know if they are or not because I'm not. I don't follow esports.
But if you look at a lot of the famous esports athletes and people here, they're all really fit.
They are.
They absolutely are.
They're so young. Their metabolism hasn't caught up yet.
Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know.
But they're all fit and they all seem to take really good care of themselves. So it's not like, when your grandmother would yell at you for playing games a lot and just assume you're not doing anything else. It's not at all like that.
Yeah. So, but here's one that is surprising to me is that there's definitely, and not just as a stereotype that we would think of, but like companies that make energy drinks intentionally very much so market them to gamers, right? But it turns out that they actually aren't, the gamers in this survey were not really drinking energy drinks that often. Only 40% of the gamers they surveyed actually drank the, highly caffeinated Red Bull Monster Energy Bang type stuff.
What if you've unveiled a conspiracy or like a controversy because they only drink or look like they're drinking it for the sponsor stuff?
Oh, no.
But what if inside the can...
Yeah, it's just water. Yeah. Whoa. Or Gatorade, like some kind of old school thing.
They don't even want to drink that much.
Yeah, man.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.